Okay, in this tutorial, we're going to review the impact that technology, specifically mechanization, has had on farming in the developing world. And in this case study, we're looking at some of the changes made in farming in India, especially in rice farming. Okay, so let's first of all, let's consider what the change is. So let's describe the change. So we've got a couple of photos here. The first one shows you a simple rotavator that is plowing the soil, and it's being operated by a farmer who's sitting behind this mechanical plow. If you think about what this would have replaced, this would have been the farmer walking behind a water buffalo with the plow being dragged by the water buffalo through the fields. So this farmer has now introduced a kind of a piece of technology to do that job instead of having a water buffalo. In the second change, we can see the farmer is using this simple kind of tractor-like device to plant the young rice seeds at the back of his planter. So as he drives along, we can see in the field, each of these rice plants is being planted equally spaced out apart from each other and done very fast and efficiently. And if we just have a look down, let's have a look at the third change. Here we can see the farmer operating another machine. In this case, once the rice is fully grown, this is harvesting the rice in the paddy field. So there are three uses of technology, and they've been appearing across India in the last sort of 10 to 20 years. So that's me describe the change, which is part one of your task, to describe a change. Let's now explain the impact that that change has had. So it's had a significant impact. In the same way that the introduction of technology more than 100 years ago had a significant effect on farming in the developed world, like the United Kingdom and the United States, so it is in India as well. So let's first of all have a look at the first impact. We can see that these machines allow for much faster planting and harvesting of the crops, which means the farmer is able to cover much more land quicker. The whole farming process is therefore faster, and because of that, they can increase their profits. More so, they don't need to employ such a large amount of labor force to do the planting and harvesting, and therefore that further increases their profits. On the negative side, though, it does mean they have to borrow money generally to buy this technology, so it's likely that one impact is that these farmers may get themselves into debt, and if they don't pay off that debt, it could grow, and that has been a problem for many farmers in India. Next impact is that across India, it's reducing birth rates. So one of the main reasons that families in rural areas of India have large families, lots of children, is because those children will help out in the rice fields, in the planting and the harvesting of the rice. Once you have machines doing that job, then farmers don't feel they need such large families as a labor force. So birth rates have been falling. One of the reasons birth rates have been falling is the introduction of technology in farming. On a negative side, these machines are, however, triggering widespread rural unemployment. So a lot of farm workers who would have been employed across the whole year doing a variety of jobs for the farm owners are no longer required either to plant or harvest the crops, and therefore they are unemployed, which throws them into poverty. So what a lot of these farmers do is they start migrating to the large cities. So what this does is this then explains the growth of big cities like Mumbai and shantytowns in cities like Mumbai because of this huge unemployed labor force coming from rural areas who have lost their job because of the introduction of technology. And finally, the last impact is that as farmers now have machines that can cover massive areas very quickly, there's no longer any need or as big a need for small fields. So gradually, over time, field size grows. Farmers get swallowed up by the more successful farmers who come in and buy their land. And that results in more people being displaced from the land as the average farm size grows, which was a thing we saw in Britain more than a century ago, and it's starting to happen in India. So what have we got in this tutorial? We have got a description with some direct reference to some technological changes to do with machinery, both plows plowing the land, planters planting the rice plants quickly and fast and efficiently, and harvesters harvesting the crops very fast. The impact of that is increased profits, reduction of birth rates, but in rising unemployment and people being displaced as farms grow in size. So you want to make sure you use these ideas to answer the two tasks of describing the changes in farming and explaining the impact that they have had.